Lisker. Weather Command 95 calling for it to be windy with occasional snow flurries overnight. Chance of a few light squalls. Low temperature 21 degrees right now. And on the phone from Syracuse. In any event, let's get into some of the background here with the Airmen of Note, first of all.
Okay.
Now, how long have you been with the Air Force?
I've been in the Air Force 22 years. I went into the Airmen of Note right after my first enlistment. I joined the Airmen of Note in 1965.
But that's okay. Now, have you been with the Airmen of Note all that time?
Since 1965, yes. 19 years.
Okay, and you've come up through the ranks, right?
Sure did.
And you're in charge of it?
Right.
Okay, that's what we like to do, talk to the man in charge. Now, do you play any other instruments, Dave, besides the trombone?
No.
Do you do any arranging?
No, unfortunately not.
Well, you play that trombone so well, I don't know why you say unfortunately not.
Well, I would like to get into arranging, but I've stuck pretty much to the trombone.
Well, you certainly do a magnificent job on it.
Thanks.
You've got some numbers on some of those albums that are just blowing the minds off some of the people around here that play brass, and they just don't know how you get the quality out of it.
Practice.
Is that what it is?
That's all.
There's got to be a certain technique, though.
People tell me that it's mostly natural.
Must be. Now, how about your training on this? Where did you get that from?
Well, I'm a self-taught trombonist.
My gosh, really?
Yes.
That's really hard to come by, the talent that you have. Now, how about your family? Are they musically minded?
Most of my family members, my brother and my sisters are living now. My sister's a pianist and my brother's a singer. He's a baritone singer.
And is that where you originally got started with it? Or
my mother and father were also singers, and I guess that's where I got it. I took piano from the time I was 7 till I was 12, and then I switched over to trombone in the 8th grade.
With no encouragement, just decided to pick it up and go from there?
Well, one of my neighbors, the guy that's on the band, as a matter of fact, was a year ahead of me in school and started playing trumpet, and I wanted to play a horn like he was playing, so I started off on trumpet for about 3 days, and then they switched me over to trombone because they didn't have any trombone players in the band, and that's how I ended up playing trombone.
That's really hard to believe. In fact, we have Sunday night, well, you won't be here, but the Eastman Trombone Choir from the Eastman School of Music is going to be in town, and they'll be putting on a concert here at one of the senior high schools in town. And we've got one of our local youngsters that plays with them. Maybe one of these days he'll be as good as you. Mark Kellogg, I got to put his name out there.
What's his name?
Mark Kellogg.
Uh-huh. I've heard the group before.
Yeah, Eastman. I mean, they're well known all over the world.
Yes, I've heard them before.
Sure, and as a matter of fact, they played up at the Jazz Convention up in Columbus. I was up there and I saw them.
Uh-huh.
I thought maybe I'd see some of you people up there.
But we're usually traveling elsewhere.
Right, I know that. Oh, by the way, the Falconeers heard about the music that I'm playing from you people, and they're going into the studio and they're starting to record now. They're not going to be outdone by you.
No.
So I'm expecting some tapes coming in from them anyway.
Well, good.
Now, how about something on the Airmen of Note? What can you tell me on the history of the Airmen of Note?
Well, as far as the band goes, we started back in 1950, and the whole idea was to carry on what Glenn Miller started back during the war years. And basically, that's what we've done. We stayed a dance orchestra for about 20 years, until about 1970, and then we changed the name of the band to the Jazz Ensemble so we could play public relations concerts. We spent most of our early history on military bases, officers' clubs and base theaters and rec centers and things like that.
Now, was there a period of time from the mid-40s when the Miller operation was in full swing to the 50 period there, where the Air Force had no representative type of music associated with the Millers?
No official representative, right. After Glenn Miller died in 1944, and most of the old Army Air Corps band mustered out in 45, there was only about a 2-year period to about 1947. The Airmen of Note was in existence, but it wasn't an official unit yet.
Okay.
But it did exist.
Right. And how many, well, let's see, what's the total complement of the
we had 17 players and vocalist.
No.
18 altogether.
Right, now Bobby is the only vocalist with you?
Right.
Now, certainly they've been changing throughout the years, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how long has Bobby been with you?
Bobby's been with the band about 6 years.
Oh, really? I didn't realize she was with it that long.
Yeah.
Very good. And listen, do you mind if I open up the telephone lines?
Great.
Okay, I don't know if anybody is awake out there, or if... I mean, I almost wasn't myself. But,
you and I are awake. Bobby's awake. She's sitting here.
Okay, you keep her there. As a matter of fact, the last time I had her on the program, I had just come back from vacation, and they switched the recorders on me and gave me the bad one and took the good one for another operation. Well, this time I got 3 recorders going, so I'm not going to miss any of this conversation. But if anybody would like to talk with any of these people from the eminent note that we have the tribute for, on the line with me right now is Chief Master Sergeant David Steinmeyer, and they're up in Syracuse, and they're willing to talk with you. Our telephone numbers are open. 736-0186 in Utica, 336-8110 in Rome, 894-3675 in the Mohawk Valley. Our area code is 315. And this is AM 95, WIBX, Utica, Rome, New York. I'm Harvey Lisker. I don't see anything happening out there. But you know what happens, Dave?
What's that?
I talk with the musicians and entertainers from around the world, and about 3 weeks later, after the people are on, I get calls and they want to talk to them.
That's the story of our lives.
I know. It seems to settle in that way. But, well, while you guys are still there, and I don't want Bobby getting bored, why don't you put her on, and maybe somebody will call in and we'll get back to you.
Okay.
Okay? Don't go away now.
All right.
You guys on extensions or what?
No, she's just sitting right here. Hang on.
Okay. And here comes Bobby McCleary. There you are.
Hi, how are you, Harv?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. Remember the last time I had you on, I was telling Dave I lost the conversation because they changed the tape recorders on me. When I just came back from vacation, they gave me a bad one.
Oh.
But right now I got 3 of them going. I'm not going to miss the conversation one bit.
Oh, that's great.
And I'll tell you, I have to tell you again, I told you the first time that you called that I just can't get over the whole operation, and certainly your voice is so appealing that I play the music as much as I possibly can. And I don't know if Dave told you, but all night, well, since 10 o'clock, no, 11 o'clock I guess it was, we've been putting on tribute to the eminent note, and it'll go on till 5 o'clock in the morning.
I just think that's wonderful, because I think it's some of the best music that's around. I mean, we're probably one of the last great big bands left in the country.
Well, I think what is so great about it is, first of all, the youthful vigor comes out in it, in the compositions, in the style of the music, in your singing of it, and just everything about it is so wholesome that I mean it's clear. I can't describe it any other way. I know that I came back from New York City not too long ago, and I was driving past Albany towards Utica during the hours that my program is on, and I couldn't pick up anything decent on the radio, on the AM radio. And all of a sudden I heard Bobby McCleary singing. And I said, who is playing that music? Nobody else that I know of. And sure enough, it was our station.
Really?
But it's really amazing how clear not only your voice, but the quality of the music behind you is out there. And it's such a refreshing feeling to have something good out there. But, hey, what can I say?
Well, I'll tell you, it sure is wonderful for us to know that there are people who hear it and appreciate it.
Well, you're well known up here.
Well, that makes the whole trip worthwhile.
And we've been waiting a year for you to come up here because I talked with Colonel Gabriel last year before I talked with you. Or was it after I talked with you? I don't even remember which. But he was telling the people that you were due to come up here. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, people have been asking when they could get to see you. Mm-hmm. And when the newspaper came out and announced that they were sponsoring your visit here, they sold their tickets out, which are free, but I mean they got the tickets out within the first week.
Oh, gee.
And people are really clamoring to get tickets to see you. That's why I'm trying to talk Dave into giving us another concert on Sunday. You wouldn't mind, would you?
Anytime I can sing, I'll sing.
There you go. I'm going to try to see if we can hold you over here a little bit and see if we can't get that. I hate to have anybody miss you. Really, it's kind of a thing that, hey, you people don't come through that often, and with the talent that you have, I think as many people as possible that want to see you should be able to.
Well, I think what you're doing is really wonderful. I really have to commend you for that. Because it's like you say, our music is different, and it is enjoyable, and it's just nice to know that people do appreciate it, and that there are also persons like you who are able to expose the public to what we're doing.
Well, that's about the only thing that I can do is to expose the talent that's out there, because without the talent, I have no program. And I've said that to many of the musicians that feel the same way as you do, and all I can do is to put it all together and bring the best possible entertainment to the listening audience out there and let them derive the benefits from it.
Well, your enthusiasm is refreshing too. Really.
Well,
it's just so nice because we work hard and the music has it has classic qualities. I mean, there are qualities about the music that we perform that will never die, that will always be appreciated even by the younger generations coming up.
Well, the thing is that what I'm finding is that more and more of the younger generation are falling right in line with your type of music.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing such a fantastic job now. This last album that just came in, Better Than Ever, it is truly better than ever.
Oh, you have the new one then?
I most certainly do.
Oh, that's great.
And played it as soon as I got it. And the fusion bit on there is out of this world.
Isn't it incredible?
Yep, and right away I can see the ears perking up from some of the younger people on the staff around here also. I mean, they all like the regular type of music that you have been putting out, but as soon as they heard this, they're saying, wow, they just can't believe that anybody is putting that out today.
Yeah.
And the worst part is for them, they can't get it.
Yeah, how about that?
I know it. Well, that's one of the reasons, too, that I want to have you people call in so that we can give you the personal exposure that you deserve also. Because they can't get these records and play them around the house and know who you are.
Yeah.
So in this way, I like to get your backgrounds and let you throw a few things out so that you become, well, if not part of the family, at least a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me go back into some of your background, if I may, Bobby, if I remember from the last time.
Sure.
You told me you started singing somewhere about the age of 13, is that right?
Actually, I started singing when I was about 5, but I actually had training for about 2 years when I was 13, 14.
Right, that was operatic training?
No, not really. I had a teacher who was an operatic singer at one time. This was in L.A. when we were living out west. And the only thing he taught me was breathing and phonetics. He said he wouldn't mess with my style. And actually, that for any singer, no matter what style of music you sing, those are the two basics. The basic fundamental really is breathing. As it is for any person who plays a wind instrument.
Right, because your phrasing on there is something that's very unusual also. The tone quality and the phrasing I find to be positively delightful. I can't say anything more about it.
Well, I have to say, as far as the tone, I think that's a God-given thing. It's like Dave said, there are some things that are just naturally, you just are born with that. But I was raised listening to good music. My mom, as we were growing up, my mom always had and in those days, the way I'm talking, it sounds like years and years ago, but in those days, you could turn on a lot of stations and hear that kind of thing. Edie Gourmet, Frank Sinatra. You heard those kind of singers. I mean, that kind of music was everywhere. there were only a few stations who were actually playing all top 40 and rock and roll. But I